I got my mask on like you guys are here.
All right, thanks for being on, Melo. Questions for Carmelo Anthony? First question is coming from Orlando Sanchez with KGW.com.
Hey, Melo. Hope all is well, man. First and foremost, what went into your thought process on re-signing with the Portland Trail Blazers? How tough of a decision was it? Appreciate it.
It really wasn't a tough decision. It was something that I always felt like I would be back. I was coming back. It was something that we talked about, we discussed after down in the bubble and even after. So it was always a part of the plan. The decision wasn't tough. The only thing that was tough was just really figuring out where the team and the organization was going, what direction they wanted to go in, how they foresaw me being a part of this organization. If it was just a one-time thing last season, or if it was something that, all parties felt the need that this was something that we needed to do. And we came to that agreement.
Next question is coming from Casey Holdahl with Trailblazers.com.
Hey, Carmelo. Welcome back, man. It's good to see you. You had talked about when you joined the Blazers initially about how it was important for them to be straight with you right from the jump and kind of explain to you kind of what the plan was for you. Did they do the same thing this time around? And if so, could you share at all kind of what that might entail for you, or maybe differences between last season and going into this season?
Well, I can't share the details.
I know you won't share details, but generalities.
It was very straight to the point from my side, and from their side. We was very honest with each other. Both parties was very honest. Lots of transparency. But again, it was just coming to an agreement. It was just coming to a mutual agreement about what this situation would be. And then at the end of the day, man, just going out there and just wanting to play basketball, wanting to be a part of what's happening and be a major part of our team's success. Whether they come in different ways, shapes, or form, me personally, I had to, kind of swallow that pill and just like, okay, let's go. Let's make it happen. Let's go. I feel comfortable here. You guys feel comfortable with me being here. Like, let's go. Let's make it happen.
And Carmelo, you had mentioned that when you were talking about different Melos you had said there was a new Melo coming, but you wouldn't say what it was. Will you say which Melo it is now?
It's all the same person. It's for talk. It's for talk radio. That's all it is.
Appreciate it, Melo.
Yeah.
Next question is coming from Nick Krupke with KPTV.com, or KPTV rather. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
All right. Hey, Melo, obviously we saw the schedule come out. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously it's going to be different travel this year, less of it with two games in one town at some points in time, and it's going to be hotel and hoops, so a little different from the past, obviously.
I haven't even got a chance to look at the schedule. I've been in the gym, so I haven't even got a chance to look at what that schedule looks like. Only thing I know is preseason games right now, which is next week. That's the only thing that I know of. As far as the game goes, I'll look at the schedule, of course, see what it is. But I mean, it is what it is, right? It's we got to do it. We here now. We got to go play. We got to play these games. We got to travel. We got to be safe. And I'm sure the NBA will continue to do a great job at just keeping our safety first and our health first.
How about just the experience from the bubble, though? How does that play into this? Obviously, I mean, it's a mental challenge when you can't go out and explore.
It's definitely not the bubble. I mean, it's not the bubble. I mean, we do have some kind of freedoms to, move around and travel and, get out the hotels and things like that, depending on what city we go to and what's the stipulations in that state or that city. So it's not the bubble. But I mean, as far as that, it's still traveling, it's still playing games, it's still back-to-backs. It's that part is back to the norm.
Next question is coming from Dwight James with NBC Sports Northwest.
Hey, Mel, could you talk about your comfort level in this city and with this franchise and what that meant to you and your decision?
I'm comfortable. I was comfortable from the first day I stepped foot in here. I mean, I've been around this game, 18 years now. So it's crazy to hear that. It's crazy to hear that number, 18. But I've been around it. I know what this, I know what this city was like from an outsider, and now I know what it's like being an insider and being here and being, one of their own and representing this city. So I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. I'm settled in. I've been settled in, and I'll find my way. I'm grown. I'll find my way. It's not too many things that I need and want. And if there is anything, I'll find it. We'll make it happen.
Next question is coming from Jason Quick with The Athletic.
Hey, Melo, what is it about now that makes you comfortable with the idea of coming off the bench?
I had to swallow that pill. I had to really be honest and transparent with the team and with the organization, and also with Dame and CJ. Like we had multiple conversations leading up to me coming back here. Those conversations were very honest from both sides. And it was just something that, I was very comfortable and familiar with this situation. So I would rather do that here and knowing that, this team and the players still respect me at a different level, and, the coaches and the organizations. And, they let me know I still would be a major part of what happened with this team. The direction or just the plan for this team. I don't want to get into all the details of that, but I mean, it's that time, right? It's basketball. It's what works for this team. What we need best for this team is not if I should be starting or not. I don't think that's a question. I don't think anybody would question that. I definitely don't question that. But it's just what's the best situation for the team and to make it work for all parties.
Was there anything in particular in those conversations that you needed to hear that kind of tipped you over to like, okay, yeah, I can do this?
It's a comfort level, right? It's me coming to the table and saying, okay, like, talk to me what that role would be. Okay, you don't want me to play with the first five doesn't mean that I'm not a quote unquote starter, right? It's just we need the balance. I mean, we need that balance. You can't bring CJ and Dame off the bench. So I'll do it. I'll make it happen. But honestly, I had to really sit down with myself and like think about that because it's new. I've tried it in Houston. I only did it for 7-8 games, but this is new for me. And if I sit here and say that the thought of that wasn't hard or difficult to hear and take, and does that play with your pride and your ego? Yes, it does, especially coming from somebody like myself. But I had to take a deep breath and we'll figure it out. We'll make it work.
So just to be clear, was it more Dame and CJ talking to you that convinced you, or was it Olshey and Stotts?
No, it wasn't convincing. It was just conversation. It was dialogue. I mean, I've had conversation with Terry and Neil that was two different type of conversations. And I had, who I'm going to war with. These are guys, my teammates are the guys that I'm actually going to be in the bunker with every night in and night out. So, as long as we are on the same page and as long as the production is being put out there on a night-to-night basis, then we're going to make it work.
Next question is coming from Mark Berman with the New York Post.
Hey, Carmelo. I mean, how much were the Knicks on your radar? I mean, there's a lot of talk that Leon really wanted to bring you back to New York. There's a rebuilding situation right now. But what was the thought process there?
It was, I mean, at this point in time, it wasn't really a lot, to be honest with you, because the Knicks was making moves and they trying to figure out what direction they wanted to go in, and they wasn't done making moves, and I'm sure that they have a plan, right? And I don't think me coming in and trying to mess their plan up was good for either party. they are rebuilding and they trying to figure out what's in their near future. So again, it was me personally wanting to be part of a situation that I was already comfortable with. I just finished playing with these guys 2-3 months ago, and I just felt like this was the right fit at this point in time with where I'm at right now, this particular year.
Thanks, Carmelo.
Yeah.
Next question is coming from Brooke Olzendam with Trailblazers TV.
Welcome back, Melo. Happy to have you.
Thank you.
I'm curious what you thought or think about the new acquisitions, the new players that Neil and Terry brought in, and your chances this season. Looks like you guys are going to be a pretty darn good basketball team.
Well, I thought the organization did a great job with kind of just filling in those pieces, and bringing in guys and, veteran guys who can do multiple things and bring multiple assets to the game. Covington is a guy, 3-and-D guy, can shoot the ball very well, extremely well, plays defense. He's a bigger wing, can play multiple positions. DJ is the same way. He's a spark plug. He's athletic. He's long. He can play multiple positions. That's always been the makeup of a Portland Trailblazer team. Long, athletic, defensive wings. And that's what we brought in. And then you go get, somebody like Enes Kanter, who's proven in this league, and you know what you're going to get from him, and that's a great acquisition. So, under the radar as Portland always is. I thought they did a great job, but we did a great job of putting the right pieces together for this team to go out there and trying to compete for a chip.
Do you have high hopes of that?
Always. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have high hopes. I would just be, planning my swan song. That's it. I have high hopes of being with this group, being with this team, being a major part of this team, and just our team's success.
Next question is coming from Manolo Rodriguez from TAB Deportes.
Yes, Melo. You just talked about the additions. How about the addition of Derek Jones to the team? What do you think he can bring to the team as a young guy that, coming up star?
Well, I think we all know what he brings to the game, right? Explosiveness, athleticism, long, defensive guy, can play multiple positions, doesn't need the ball to be effective. He can affect the game in different ways. So that's what we're getting from him. He comes from a program organization down in Miami who, is very, they very direct, focus directly on certain aspects of the game, and especially for him. So he's coming from a disciplined organization, a disciplined coach, disciplined guy in Pat Riley. So what he's going to bring to us, we're gonna need that. We're gonna need his athleticism on the wings. We're gonna need him, getting out in open court. We're gonna need that.
Being from Puerto Rico, we follow a lot the FIBA games. And this year, there's a big player that's coming to play in the NBA, which is Facundo Campazzo. How difficult would it be playing against him? But at the same time, you have a little bit of advantage playing against him in FIBA.
I don't think it's about having an advantage. I welcome him into this league. We welcome him to this league, and we'll see how this plays out. When we get in them lines, it's mano a mano at that point.
Next question is coming from AJ McCord with Coin.
Hey, Carmelo, welcome back to Portland.
Thank you. You enjoyed the sun is out.
I know I'm driving, but I'm passenger. I'm not driving. But I had to get on here to ask you a question. So when we had Dame on here, he said that the bubble was almost like summer camp in a way, and that it provided an opportunity for you guys to get so much closer than you maybe would have necessarily done just in a regular season where you're traveling, but everyone kind of does their own thing when you get to a city. How much did the connections that you deepened in the bubble with players on this team have an impact in you feeling comfortable and wanting to re-sign?
Oh, that was one of the main reasons. We definitely got a chance to become closer in that bubble. not even from a basketball standpoint, just as people, as humans, we got a chance to build with each other. We got a chance to conversate. We got a chance to talk, hang around each other. We was confined into this one area, this one location. So you had to interact, with your teammates. You had to learn your teammates a little better. Whereas if we was regular season, we'd be flying. We get into a city, everybody's doing their own thing, family, friends. We get together when we get together, but we were forced to be in that bubble and to enjoy everybody's presence and to learn about people that we're around. So it was very beneficial for us.
Thank you.
Next question is coming from Casey Holdall with Trailblazers.com.
Carmelo, could you talk at all about your off season, kind of what you did or how you prepared yourself after the bubble, and particularly as well your involvement with some of the social justice initiatives that the NBA is rolling out, and I believe you're on that council if I'm not mistaken. So could you just talk at all about that situation and kind of what your involvement is?
Yeah, I mean, I've never stopped from the bubble, right? I mean, what you guys saw in the bubble from a performance standpoint and just me taking care of myself and working and training, I've never stopped. So that continued on. As far as the social justice, initiatives, yes, I'm on the board with the PA with that social justice initiative. I have my own social change fund. Myself, Dwayne, and CP. And we have a bunch of other athletes and musicians, and just everybody is starting to become part of the social change fund. So that it's been fun. Definitely been fun, and just some other businesses that of my own that I've been able to just focus in on and lock in, because again, you don't know. We didn't know what was going to happen, right? We didn't know from a day-to-day standpoint when we was coming back. You gotta shift everything. You gotta change your mindset when it comes to business, and when it just comes to, operating things and just getting things done. Everything is totally different now.
Next question is coming from Jason Quick with The Athletic.
Hey, Melo, Neil talked about Portland being kind of custodians of your legacy. And I'm wondering how much at this stage of your career that you think about your legacy.
Oh, you have to. I mean, it's inevitable. You have to think about it. If you don't think about it at this point, I mean, it's not like I'm 9-10 years in, right? Or 8 I'm 18 years into this game. So you have to think about the only thing left is legacy, right? So that was a major point in emphasis in the conversation that I've had with Neil in particular. We talked about that, and he made me feel comfortable as far as him protecting that legacy, and not letting it can go anywhere. I mean, I could be in another situation I was in, like in Houston, right? Neil was very open and honest and upfront with me that he wouldn't allow that. He wouldn't do that. So when you have people, in an organization that want to go side by side with you through this journey and be a part of your legacy, it gives you a different type of confidence. It gives you a different, just thought process. It eases a lot of thoughts and questions when you have people that really truly care about your legacy. Like that was the first time that I've actually had that conversation with anybody, as far as when it comes to legacy.
And have you given any thought to, we see your hat with the 7. Did you try to get 7 this year, or are you going to stick 00?
Listen, if Portland gives me number 7 this year, listen, I'll be happy. I'll be thrilled. So we need a petition. We need a petition for that. I need number 7.
All right, got time for a couple more. First one's coming from Sean Hyken with Bleacher Report.
Hey, Melo, how are you personally feeling about kind of the safety aspect of traveling to different cities, playing outside of the bubble? You guys maybe aren't always going to just be staying in their hotel room. Some guys might be going out on the road, maybe being exposed to some, what's your comfort level with kind of the way the NBA has all that stuff set up?
Well, they have it set up. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's they're gonna do their job to put us in a safe environment and you know, travel safely and hotels safely. What you're not gonna control unless you put us back in a bubble is guys going out to eat and hanging out. You're not gonna control that. So we can control what we can control. You know what I'm saying? And we got to take care of ourselves, and we also got to look out for everybody that's around us, because this is a sensitive time right now, and you don't just want to just be out there just doing anything and hanging out in these places. And I mean, you just don't want to do that. We don't do it now, right? So it's like, why wait till the season come to start doing that? But I think the NBA is doing their job. Nobody knew how the bubble was going to turn out when it came to safety and health and COVID and things like that. And nobody knows how this is going to play out. We see it playing out right in front of us in other sports, right? So I just think that we've always been ahead of the game when it comes to our players' safety and players' health.
All right, we've got time for one more question coming from Nick Krupke with KPTV. And Nick, before you ask it, for everyone, we're just going to roll this call into Gary Trent Jr., so just go ahead and stay on this call. All right, go ahead, Nick.
In year 18 for you, man, how much, even times last year, you sit in the locker room and go like, my goodness, these guys are so young, some of them, and they obviously look up to you. Where do you take that role as being the elder statesman and hanging around with these guys?
Well, I mean, it's an unwritten responsibility, right? For me to be that guy to the younger generation, or just guys in general who look up to me. With that being said, I still have to go out there and work extremely hard and train extremely hard and perform and produce. Like, I still have to do that. Even though these guys look up to me, I still have to go out there and put in the work, and they can look up to me, but I want them to see, I don't want them to think about year 17 or year 18 when they think about me. I just want them to see the game. I want them to see the production and see the amount of work and attention to details that I put into my game and this game. And then if you want to mention, 18 years and 18th season, that's cool. But for me, it's basketball, man. It's still fun to me. I still enjoy it. I still know how to play it at a high level. That's what gets me going and keeps me up at night and waking up in the morning, knowing that I can still play this game the way I want to play this game. In year 18, I mean, not a lot of people in the history of any sport can say that they're sitting here talking to you in year 18 and still doing what they love to do and playing a game at a high level.
All right, thank you, Melo. Well, go ahead.
Thanks, Melo.
Thank you. Now you have a young
Melo, welcome back.
You have a young second-year player coming now.